I kind of wanted to take a look at what other people are doing in the community, and I pulled up 2 videos that I found that I thought were pretty interesting. One of these is from Ascendant Nomad, and the other one is from Grenader Jake. I know it's that meme everyone's doing, like, oh, Grenader Jake's like, the truth about D2, but I heard it had some things in there, and I kind of want to check it out. I want to take a look at some of these videos, because, you know, I wrote this as these content breaks got people acting up, and it's kind of true. I want to see what's going on. But with this, we have us an Ascendant Nomad video. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to take a look and see what he said and just kind of give my thoughts on it.
Burnt out playing a game that was stale, less than innovative, and, for all intents and purposes, largely solved. For the last 6 months covering this game,
largely solved.
You all know the issues. I'm not going to waste your time rehashing them here.
Destiny has been getting just pounded left and right. And it's actually kind of funny to see, because all the videos that I'm seeing of like big Destiny creators too are only hitting like 30K or somewhere around there, because so many people go, unless they're videos like this, like they say the decline or something like that on Destiny, because everybody is kind of in a mood right now where they want to see it fail.
My month away opened my eyes to some truths that I had forgotten, and some harsher truths about where I am in my world.
I can agree with that too. After playing a lot of other games, it did open some eyes. Like me and Jin, I've said this before, we were very, very close when it came to playing Destiny. Even like during the worst periods, Jin and I were playing through Curse of Osiris. We were playing through like all the low points in Destiny. And this is gonna sound a little crazy, I didn't mind them. I didn't even mind Curse of Osiris. But there comes a point where if you play a game too much, you tend to just kind of distance from it because it becomes stale and repetitive. But at the same time, Destiny didn't like go with that and try to like innovate on top of it, right?
The first lesson I learned from my time away was that games are meant to be fun.
What are you, fucking crazy? Games aren't meant to be a full-time job? Are you stupid? This is easy shit. You're supposed to grind, and then die while you're playing in the game.
And after playing Destiny 2 for so long, I realized that it wasn't the way the game made me feel that kept me logging in day after day. What really kept me logging in every day was the memory of the first time it all clicked for me. Memories of my first PvP kill. Memories of the first time I got a streak in PvP. Memories of the first time I ever made a build and it just
This is so true.
worked. I was forcing the fun to happen, when the reality is that if something is truly fun to you, you'll know it immediately.
That is such a big thing that I've talked about with Jin. And he actually mentioned it to me too, like if you're forcing the fun. Because when you have highs inside of Destiny, they soar to like new heights. You see things that are crazy, you get like all these really good memories of feeling like this big badass last bastion of humanity type of fighter. And what Nomad is saying here is that he remembers all the big moments. And that's something that I had to struggle with for a long time too, is like wondering when does the nostalgia wear off and you start to see things for how they really are? Like when do you start to get that wisdom for like respecting your time? And I've been playing a bunch of games that give me an experience, and I'm seeing now that there's a lot more that you can enjoy with that, right? Like the Stockholm Syndrome is wearing off.
Much of what constitutes Destiny community discourse revolves around the idea of potential and how it's being wasted. Everything in this game that you experience
True.
better. The weapons
Destiny 2 is
powerful.
untapped potential.
It's been difficult to look at the analytics and come to the conclusion that being negative is one of the few guaranteed ways to put food on the table. I'm literally doing it right now with the title of this video. I helped make this reality.
Amen, right? If the discourse is around there and you have it kind of popping up all over, it's not invalid. It's just people recognizing that there's a problem. Players want to see their sentiment reflected, and that's the truth. Views are driven by confirmation bias. It is 100% the truth.
I brought other people's thoughts, opinions, and emotions into my escapism, and it turned what was previously my
that could be pretty toxic to your enjoyment of something.
I'd let my love of the conversation and my need to be social turn me away from the game that gave me my friends to begin with.
He's right here. If you let people affect what you think of something, eventually that can turn to poison in your mind. It'll just make the thing that you love poison itself slowly. And I've noticed this, even with me. Like, I engage now a lot more on Twitter. I'm seeing all the discourse being negative around it, and everybody's saying things like, this game is terrible, like this is terrible. They're comparing other stuff to it. And because of that, I sit there and I go, yeah, no, that's terrible. Don't you mean X? I won't call it X. I remember it as the bird. Big thing that's different, though, is playing a game for an audience versus playing a game for fun.
After a while, I realized that
you'll typically enjoy playing a game for fun more.
To really enjoy games for a long time in a really meaningful and personal way don't involve yourself in the conversation around them. Now, it can be compelling to want to share your thoughts and experiences
That
with
is
other
so
people.
true. If you want to enjoy games in a fun way, don't involve yourself in the thing around them. Okay, Muted says, yeah, I mean, I see the worst going forward with Destiny. Like, even if the final shape does well, it won't fix anything. It'll be like putting a bandage on a severed limb and saying it's fixed. Bungie would need to rebuild the player trust over years, but with how things are going, I think this might be the end of Destiny. Maybe Bungie if this continues into their other games. I don't know. I think there's still, like, a big community for Destiny. There is, like, really bad sentiment around it right now. But people are still really hopeful. Like, that's one of the things that I actually really enjoy about the Destiny community. It's that they are very committed to seeing something that they love be made better. And this is something that Bungie is so stupid for not taking part in. Their community are such firm believers that they can do better, that they are willing to overlook all of the bad to give them another chance over and over and over again. But the management is so stupid that they take advantage of that, like, and they don't reciprocate it. They're just like, shit out another, like, expansion like this. And they just keep trying to milk the player base. But you have such devoted people that are willing to sink so much into the game.
And I'm not saying this to preemptively reject negativity or paint negativity as this bad thing. Balance is incredibly important for healthy discourse. And all of Destiny 2's criticisms are valid, more than valid. But you can't deny that it
That's
gets
fair,
to be
Brandon.
exhausting.
I don't want to let light
feeling
this down.
this much negativity over a past
That's one of the harder things to do.
it just isn't worth it. Because whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, all of us are still here because we're all operating on a very basic subtext. And that subtext is, when all is said and done, Destiny 2 is actually a pretty good video game. If you're
Yes, I agree. I have said this so many times, and Jin just shuts me down every time. I say Destiny 2 is a good game. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it because it is. But all the problems I see that people mention in Destiny mostly come from the fact that there's like a value disposition in a way where people are like, this isn't giving me what I paid for. Like, I'm paying $80 for Lightfall when I could pay $60 and get Baldur's Gate.
When I say Destiny 2 is a pretty good game, everyone can point to something that works really well. The art, the music, the weapons, the gunplay, the abilities, even in their current fashion.
Amen, Nomad, amen.
The gameplay is stale, but still very solid. When your build works, you feel unstoppable. When all the right pieces line up, the PvP feels unlike any other out there.
Joke's
The
on you,
whole
Nomad. I only
thing
use
is the right
meme builds.
moments. It's precisely because it's so addictive that we quit. Because eventually the highs wear off, or simply the time cost of achieving said highs becomes untenable. Or, more egregiously, our favorite things get taken away from us and thrown into a vault.
I'm a firm believer that if you're going to target an audience, you target that audience. If you try to please everybody, you wind up pleasing nobody. It's a very, like, yes man kind of like take advantage of you mentality that I feel like the game kind of has. Where it's like, everybody can jump into this raid. Everybody can get this weapon really easily now. Like, think Anarchy or something like that. Well, you used to have to do the raid for it. Well, now I just walk up to the kiosk and buy it. I can literally farm the spoils chest like once a week and go pick it up. Well, now the person who just spent 12 hours getting that gun is sitting there going like, well, why the fuck did I even waste my time? There's no point, because now my account isn't special. My account doesn't matter.
In my 20s, I used to play this game for weekends at a time. I'd play with my clan for every activity, LFG for when they weren't around, and celebrate anytime someone cancelled a plan in real life because it meant I could fill that time with Destiny. Trials was my stomping ground. Raids were my social spaces. Now, I'm 32 years old. The game's changed a lot. How you felt at 15 is more intense than at 25, which is more intense than 35, and so on and so forth.
Which is why I see
The only
Destiny
thing that's
resonate with
consistent
people
through
who
the
are a
ages
lot younger.
is wishing you felt
It
the
got
same
called
way
a
you did in
Zoomer
the past,
gamer near me,
when the
or
flames
a
burned
Zoomer
brighter
game.
with more intent. I still love this game, but time and circumstances have motivated me to be more efficient with my time. It's time better spent actually living well. And Destiny 2 does not live well with me anymore. So, the
Oh,
Finall
big
Shape
truth.
will probably be my last expansion as a creator.
Well,
every second.
I'm definitely gonna
You can find me
be
over at Twitch.
gonna be watching more
But I'm not
Ascendant
going anywhere
Nomad just
yet.
because I like the more mature conversation around it, where he doesn't just talk about like the game itself. He also talks about like how it makes you feel and how it relates to as you grow, right? There was one other video I wanted to see. I want to see what's going on with
What up,
this.
ladies and gentlemen?
Now, Grenadier Jake is what I would like to call the sweat. I'm not a sweat. I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum there. I'm not exactly... You want a foot reveal? What the fuck? Can't you see I'm having a serious conversation here? Give me them toes, boy.
The first thing I want to say is that Destiny is still, and actually is even more so, a great game.
What are you, stupid? No, I'm just gonna go back to that as like a call sign every time.
Characters combined with different armor perks, combined with different weapon perks, different artifact perks, to have quite literally an endless combination of possibilities. And that's not even the best part about Destiny.
I love that
The
about
best part
Destiny.
about Destiny is the gunplay. I mean, go play other shooters out there. For whatever reason, Destiny has absolutely killed it, and Bungie's always killed it with how gunplay feels in their games.
It does feel great, and they have always killed it. And that's something I gotta say. Like they definitely always have really, really good gunplay. There's no way around it. I think that Destiny 2 is on that very high, like, octane shooter, where it's like it constantly gets your blood pumping. It constantly gets you, you know, when you're in the zone and you're just like leveling the battlefield and your build is working and things are blowing up everywhere. But Brandon says people love to be negative, and with everything going on IRL, having a game that used to give you joy lets you down in a world that is crushing you. It's depressing, demoralizing, and makes you want to cry. People are in a really rough spot right now. There's so many things going on with like inflation. You have people who can't even afford to eat, and then they have to pay like how much just to get a game, just something that they used to enjoy, and it doesn't feel the same because there's a bunch of like real world problems and everything like that. And the people I find that are the most depressed when they're playing Destiny are people who play it way, way, way too much. They sit there and they will do it for like 20 hours and then be like, why does my life suck? It's like, why do things suck around me? It's like, have you thought about, and I know this is going to sound weird because we're Destiny players. I'm going against the code here, right? I'm like, have you thought about going outside? I don't go outside, but I've thought about it. I don't go outside, says a man with a full-time job. Yeah, because I do stuff outside of just Destiny, I have a more positive outlook on Destiny. Like, I play other games. I do Helldivers. I play horror games on stream here where people come and join me. I get to engage with a bunch of people on different types of media. It's not just Destiny what I do. That's exactly why I can enjoy this stuff more. Yeah, but
People
I'll
have the
I'll
false
get back
narrative
to
of
that.
saying that Destiny. I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels a little bad to me too, but that's not on Bungie. We're gonna get to Bungie in a bit.
Bungie didn't tickle my balls. Been living in a state of pre-nut delusion.
Favorite.
I'm confused on your opinion. My opinion, I'll lay it out right here so I can stop being in this Destiny limbo. I dislike the story. I think it's one of the worst stories ever written for a game ever. As soon as I got to the Witch Queen and I beat it, this was awesome. And then I got to Season of the Seraph. This is awesome. It's building to the darkness revealing. It's building to the witness coming back to the city and leveling everything. And then Lightfall. Lightfall was the complete off switch to Destiny for me. That was the big shit the bed moment. Like, the story was terrible. Jin left because he didn't like the story. Dom left because he beat Lightfall. You can actually watch that video on my channel and just listen to Dom as we go through it. It actively repulsed him to play it.
This feels a little bit predatory to me, and it also leads to
He's-
false hope that, oh my goodness, Destiny's about to be so good, and therefore when
He's giving up. Listen to that. that is great. Like, they could have added a lot more moments of like more focus to it. Like, all the lore is amazing. The lore writers are killing it because they don't have to adhere to what the character sees. But Destiny has a big problem with showing things, not showing enough, and having a lot of stuff happen off camera, and say that it's very significant.
Destiny's never gonna be as fun for you as it used to be. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Maybe 1 out of 100 of you are gonna actually have this not be the case, and somehow, some way, Finall Shape's gonna be more fun than you've ever had in Destiny. But the best Destiny days are behind us. Something that's unstoppable, that Bungie can't do anything about, is the newness factor and the nostalgia factor. We look back to 9 years ago, or whenever it was you started playing, and they feel like the good old days. All your friends were playing, your community was playing, the game was fresh, it was exciting to you, and that excitement was part of what made Destiny so good. It's never gonna feel that good again. You're never gonna be able to recapture that excitement again. And I don't want to sound
No, I think that like what Grenadier Jake is saying here, it's not just the nostalgia that's got people weighing on it. It is years and years and years afterwards, right? Like, I do get that. But the numbers that I've seen and the community sentiment have all been that people are still wanting to see this cap off in a satifying way. I think that most people that do play Destiny, they are there to see what comes next. They're not against grinding or anything like that. If you can only afford to buy one game and it's Destiny, you can do worse. You can do way worse. But I think that it gets egregious when you get to the microtransactions, when you get to everything like that, right? It's missed opportunity, I think, that is the biggest part. It's not nostalgia, it's not all of that, because if you look at the Witch Queen, if you look at like how much it was building up to Lightfall, and the player count was just soaring, like it was astronomically soaring, and then immediately after Lightfall, it was bad. It's like, it's not nostalgia, it's not that it's dying over time, it's that it was bad. Lightfall was bad. If you make good things, people will come. It doesn't matter if it's old. Like Destiny 2, I would prefer to play a shooter like Destiny 2 than something new that came out that felt terrible.
What I'm about to talk about is not factually sound, but as somebody whose career is very much based around Destiny, and as somebody who hopefully has demonstrated the ability to be very logical and reasonable about things, hopefully you can trust that I have put a lot of thought into this, a lot of analysis into this, and have really looked deep into everything that Bungie's given us. I believe this is the last year that we will ever really have Destiny as we know it. Sort of dance around the idea, and they make it sound like Destiny's gonna go forever, or not forever necessarily, but that they're continuing year after year after year after 2024 to build on Destiny. And while they may be planning to do that, it's not gonna be the same Destiny that we have known and expected for the last 10 years. That big annual DLC is necessary for how many of us play and envision Destiny.
Well, one of the big things that is gonna definitely hurt the game is that after this final expansion, people are just gonna leave. Like, I know people who are just sticking around just to see the end, and they're wanting to move on to greener pastures with it. And I would say that Bungie, if they really wanted to be smart with the game, the thing that they should do is end it in the most satisfying way possible. And then, if you know it's unsustainable for you to continually pump out these expansions, move on to your side projects in the meantime. Because eventually, Bungie needs to move on as a studio. Destiny cannot live forever. Like, even this, like, where you say Minecraft lives forever, Minecraft, if it didn't have mods, it probably wouldn't. Like in Skyrim, do you think we would have ever gotten the milking table if Bethesda was making it? I don't think so. Do you think we would have got the planet-sized tits? I don't think so. But here we are in 2024 with the milking table. Destiny 3, like, if you ever make something like that, they could. And it'd be made on better tech, better foundations, better everything, get everybody to start fresh. This, like, constant season rotation with constant stuff coming out is so bad for them. Like, they have to remake content, reuse it. Like, the games as a service worked for a long time, but we're reaching a point where it's like people are wanting that innovation because it's been so many years. And if you don't adapt with the times will leave you behind. And it seems that that is kind of happening inside of Destiny.
There's not going to be many people returning for these episodes. Maybe episode 1, maybe episode 2.
I don't think I care about the episodes. I'm pausing it again. Forgive me, but I want to say what Robot has here. Robot says, I've been saying it and will keep saying it. If Finall Shape is shitty, D2 is done. If it's good, it'll live. If it's really fucking good, Destiny will thrive. And I agree. If this pulls no punches and just hits with some force, you're going to see everything, like a whole new D2 renaissance. That'd be beautiful.
This is it, friends. As far as we have known Destiny, this is the last year it's gonna be the way that we love it to be. And honestly, I want to be wrong. My biggest personal issue with Bungie and where we are currently as a fragmented community is their inability to tackle the cheater and harassment problem in Destiny. And you might be thinking, oh my god, here he goes again, or like
okay. This is such a PvP issue though. Like, I gotta say that. Like yeah, cheaters are bad, but I guarantee you, no matter what game you play now, you are not beating cheaters. You are not gonna beat them. You could put in the best anti-cheat that exists in gaming and exists on the planet, and they'll break it in like a day. Look at Helldivers. They put in an anti-cheat. They put in the one that rootkits your system and goes like deep into the kernel level. And the cheaters got in anyway and started like making guns that can fire like forever. It literally like 4 seconds it took.
600 kills with Cloud Strike and a 99% headshot ratio, and he made his account yesterday. That's kind of a problem. Things like that would be hard to do.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Have it like auto-detect those sorts of things.
I'm going to say this directly to anybody who's listening. I will pay for salary.
What a huge play.
Job I am describing.
Big dick move there.
No money, because that's been a thing we've heard from Bungie, is that They've got budget issues and they can't afford things. I will finance this. If you want to hire somebody to manually...
What a way to clown on a studio though, right? You broke bitches. I will pay for the person myself. Like multi-million-dollar studio, and this guy's just like, yeah, I will do it. Like, holy shit. Gets IP banned and becomes Pennsylvania. Jesus, yeah, I'm just gonna move states around. Little did you know, I'm the best Zimmer in the game.
By a lot of, I should probably not call people cheaters, unless I'm 100% sure that they are. But there are always clips of the one time I got wrong that blow up versus the 99 again.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Grenader Jake's clips actually, where people were like getting pretty mad at him. They're like, he's just calling everybody cheater, and like some good players too. And I know he's probably like sick of it. But if you're dealing with it over and over again, yeah, I could see you kind of being more jumpy at it. It's like if you get stabbed in a bad neighborhood and then you go back to the bad neighborhood wearing a plate of armor because you don't want to get stabbed, you're not overreacting, right? Like, you're probably going to get stabbed again. And that's something that he's got going on here. He's been getting jumped by cheaters over and over again, so he's probably like, oh yeah, the cheaters are a problem, and I'm going to call out more people who's cheating because they're more suspicious. I dealt with cheaters quite a bit in a lot of my favorite PvP games. Whenever someone would kill me, I was of the mind that I was a great player, and I would think in Battlefield, okay, this guy's cheating. And it was funny because there were a lot of cheaters in Battlefield. But yeah, it'll put you in that mindset, which can definitely be a very toxic mindset to carry with you when you're just constantly thinking, I'm bad because this person's cheating, or you don't know, right? Like, I could see it doing a lot of damage to you. So I definitely see where he's coming from, though, that you don't want the cheaters. I just personally don't take it as seriously as a lot of other players because I've dealt with them for so long. I see them as part of the meme now.
These cheaters will just make new accounts. They'd still have to pay for Lightfall or whatever the newest DLC is to play Trials. These cheaters will just do more account recovery.
Wait. Wait, you have to pay for Lightfall to play Trials? Is that actually a thing? Don't tell me that's the truth. What? You gotta pay for... Since when? No, you should just be able to join in Trials there. You need the latest... I didn't know that, actually. I've always had the latest expansion. I just thought it came with the base game. I've just always been able to go into Trials, so I had no idea. That's a good way of being, Star Destroyer. Make your own opinions. I'm a big believer of if anybody ever disagrees with my opinion, that's a completely valid thing because I'm not like the be-all, say-all in Destiny. But at the end of the day, if you disagree with me on anything, right? I'd be like, hell yeah, just feel free to let me know. Or like say your own opinion or anything like that. I'm never going to be like, you're wrong and you're stupid. I'm just going to be... I might say that as a joke, but I'm not going to ever think that that's the case. Because... I'm having a completely different experience to what you experience when you play the game.
And honestly, that's it. Unscripted, ranting. I hope it made sense and was good. To sort of take it all and bundle it real quick. Destiny
I feel like he missed a lot of the big points in this one, though. You can definitely tell it's unscripted, too. It definitely feels like it's not as focused as it should be with that. It's definitely focused on the PvP aspect of it and not taking into account all of it. So saying, like, the truth about Destiny 2 as a whole in Bungie, like, it is a truth that's in the game, but as, like, a whole, it feels a little bit wrong. It is very hard to make a game like Destiny. And Destiny is an amazing experience. And I say that to some people, and they think that, they look at me like, yeah, are you stupid, Riley? Yeah, I think that they could do a lot more. Like, there's a lot of stuff that is wrong in Destiny. They need to innovate with the Finall Shape, but I think they'll be able to pull it home in the end. I do. I really liked Ascendant Nomad's video on it. Jake's definitely feels like it's unscripted, and it follows like a more what he experiences in a straight and narrow path. The beginning video with this one right here, with why he quit D2 and learned something shocking, that is an awesome video. I think that one's great. I'm gonna head to bed because I gotta go to work in like 5 hours. But I'll catch all you guys later. I really need to sleep. Poke me in the DMs if you ever want to. I'm there. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.